Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. So for today's video, I'm gonna be doing the mid-year book freak out tag. I don't know if I'm too late to do this vlog, but yeah, recently I've been busy because I was kinda renovating my room, changing my bed and all that stuff. So finally I got the right time to make a vlog. So yeah. What is this mid-year book freak out tag? Basically, it has 15 questions where I will tell you my top favorite book this year so far, and the books that made me cry, disappoint me, made me happy, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get into these questions. So you guys, I have here the list of 15 questions where I will answer them for you. So yeah, let's get started. The first question is, best book you've read so far in 2020. So the best book I've read so far in 2020 is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I gave this book 5 stars, but actually I have 3 more 5-star books this year so far. But yeah, this is my top favorite book this year, and this book is a psychological thriller book. And why this book is my top favorite, it's because we're not following only one main character in this book. We're following 2 main characters who are, first, Theo Faber, who is a psychotherapist, and the second main character is Alicia Berenson, who is the patient. So the story follows these 2 main characters, right? So let's talk about the patient, who is Alicia Berenson. She killed her husband, and after killing her husband, she never speak again. She never speak a word again after 8 or 9 years. And then the psychotherapist Theo Faber came, and he claimed that he could make her talk again. So yeah, that's how the story goes. What makes this book really interesting is that I tried a lot of times to guess what's the plot twist, what's going to happen, but I failed. It's a twist that you wouldn't see it coming, and it was mind-blowing when the twist happened. It's a light psychological thriller book, but the twist is so unforgettable. So yeah, my top favorite book this year so far is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Moving on to the second question, best sequel you've read so far in 2020. Best sequel I've read so far in 2020 is, of course, Stalker by Lars Kepler. And actually, it's my first book that I got by Lars Kepler. And again, I've said it a lot of times in my blog that I became a huge fan of Lars Kepler because of this book. And I got another book by Lars Kepler, which is Lazarus. I haven't read this because I'm saving it on November, but I don't know if I can wait that long for this one. And yeah, so these books are the book series of the top Swedish detective Joona Linna. I have been trying to complete the Joona Linna's book series, but unfortunately, I don't know why, they are having a difficult time to find Lars Kepler books. I don't know why, for some reason. So I am really disappointed because I really want to complete the Joona Linna's book series because I love the writing style of Lars Kepler. As you guys should know, Lars Kepler is my top favorite psychological mystery crime thriller author, and I am really sad because I don't know what to do. I don't know where I could find these books like The Hypnotist, The Fire Witness, The Sandman, and all these books. So dear Mr. Lars Kepler, help me out. I really want to find your books. I really don't know why I couldn't order them from here. I don't know, but yeah, that's the best sequel I've read so far this year. So the third question is, new release you haven't read yet but want to. So the new release I haven't read yet but want to is The Long Bright River by Liz Moore. I really want to read this kind of thriller book, and it's so nice. I like the cover. I like the, I don't know, the ambience, the kind of feeling that I can get from this book. So yeah. Fourth question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Well, I don't really have the most anticipated release, but let me just say that I want to read The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. I don't know, it's just caught my attention and I would want to read that kind of books. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna buy that book. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my list and I'm gonna order that book because it's gonna be released on around August. So yeah. Fifth question, biggest disappointment. Actually, I got two books that disappoint me this year, which are Something in the Water by Catherine Sedman and The Child by Sebastian Fitzek. Why? Because let's talk about this Something in the Water. So Something in the Water follows this young couple who went to Bora Bora for their honeymoon, and they found this bag with money and diamonds and all that stuff. And at first, it's a great book. Actually, this kind of book, you can read it during your vacation. Like, you are chilling on the beach, sipping your coffee and all that stuff. It's very chill, it's very relaxed. I really like it, but I think what's missing in this book is the ending. It was a quick ending. It's not the right ending for me. It lacks perspective from Mark, and I was craving for it. I needed that kind of point of view by Mark, and that really disappointed me big time. I don't know, because really it was well written. I like the point of view of the first person, right? Because it was written in a first person perspective. I like it. I like how she writes it beautifully. But yeah, the ending, it's missing something. It's not complete for me. Like, I needed more information, more point of view of Mark in this book. And yeah. And also this book, The Child by Sebastian Fitzek, disappointed me this year because it was so messy. The story was chaotic for me, and it's not as wow as I remember. It kind of bored me a little reading this book. I was expecting a lot from this book because I thought it's gonna be, you know, perspective from the child and all this stuff, but no, it's not. And I didn't like the characters. Actually, I didn't like the lawyer. Actually, the story is like the child was he was a reincarnation of a serial killer, but actually he was just hypnotized by someone, and that's why he remembered how the serial killer you know, killed his victims and all that. And yeah, it was a messy story. It was very chaotic. I didn't like it, so no. And as far as I remember, I gave this book, I think 3 stars. So yeah, these books yeah, totally disappointed me this year. But again, we have different opinions. Maybe you like this one or this one, but as for me, I don't like them. But still, if you want light psychological thrillers, these ones are for you. So yeah. 6th question, biggest surprise. Yes, of course, If It Bleeds by Stephen King. This book surprised me because at first I didn't know if I was going to like Stephen King books, because this is my first book that I've read by Stephen King, and yeah, it surprised me that I loved it. I didn't like it, I loved this book. So this book actually has 4 different stories, and the stories were really good. I have a reading vlog for this book, so please check it out. You will see my reading experience about this book. So yeah, and yeah, it surprised me because after reading this book, I told myself, like, if I could buy the first 50 books of Stephen King, I would. And it made me obsessed with Stephen King. I was watching his interviews and about his books and all that. So yeah, it's a good one. It's a good start for me reading Stephen King. This is actually his latest book, If It Bleeds. So yeah. 7th question, favorite new author. So my favorite authors this year are Lars Kepler and Stephen King. Why? Because you already know why. 8th question, newest fictional crush. My newest fictional crush is, of course, the top Swedish detective, Juna Lena. I think I haven't told you the story about this stalker. So the story follows this killer who's been stalking and killing only women. You will understand this cover, why it has a girl and has this and all this. You will understand after finishing this book. It's so cute. And yeah, it's very scary, and it's kind of disturbing how this stalker kills the victims. It's so gross. I really love the twist inside this book. It's a mystery crime thriller book and a bit of psychological thriller. But yeah, you really need to find out who is this stalker. And it's a great book. It's well written, and I salute Lars Kepler for this one. 9th question is newest favorite character, and of course I'm gonna choose Holly Gibney in If It Bleeds. So like I said, it has 4 different stories, and one of the stories is If It Bleeds, where we have this main character, Holly Gibney. She's a badass. I love her, and she's my newest favorite character this year. But to give you a kind of synopsis in the 3rd story of If It Bleeds. If It Bleeds is the 3rd story inside this book, which has 4 different stories, right? And Holly Gibney is the cop, the police woman there, and she is trying to solve this crime. She's investigating it. This police woman, this cop, is so brave. I really like her character. So, book that made you cry. Of course, it is The Book Thief by Marco Zusak. Well, I didn't cry. I almost cried. Because this book is so dramatic. It's so emotional. And it's so long. And I got attached with the characters. Actually, I love Lisa Memmer, her relationships with Ilsa Herman, and who's that guy, with Rudy, and of course the father and daughter relationship, even though he's only her foster father. And yeah, it's really a good book, and this book is actually narrated by Death, which is so interesting, seeing the perspective of Death. And I love the humor in this book, and yeah, it almost made me cry. And there's a movie for this book. You have to watch it, you have to see it, but first please read this book before watching the movie, because book has, you know, the complete details always. So yeah. The 10th question is the book that made you happy. Actually, all of them made me happy, but this particular book actually made me happy, which is The Loss of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Why? Because I've been reading this book since last year, around September, and I managed to finish this book during quarantine, like March, around March, and it's really a good book. It's a self-help book. It's a great eye-opener book, and the author, Robert Greene, is a supreme realist. So this book is will tell you the harsh reality, the laws of human nature, and yeah, it will make you more self-aware about yourself. So it's a really great book, and I'm gonna have in the near future book reviews about Robert Greene's books, and yeah, wait for it. I'm really excited to do that kind of book reviews, because it's gonna be full of information, and it's gonna be about realism. And yeah, I really love this book. It made me happy by all means. So yeah, moving on. So the 12th question is favorite book to film adaptation that you've seen this year. And that is, of course, The Shape of Water by Guillermo del Toro and Daniel Krauss. As soon as I finished this book, I automatically watched the movie, because I was so excited to really watch the movie in order for my imagination turned into reality. And wow, the movie was so good. It was so great. And I fell in love with this fishman, the gill god, and of course my favorite, Eliza Esposito. It was a beautiful love story about this creature and this lady, Eliza, and it was beautifully written, and the ending was so good. Actually, it almost made me cry as well because it's a beautiful love story, and the ending was shocked me really. And yeah, so this is one of my favorites. 13th question: favorite review you've written, booktube or written? So my favorite book reviews that I did this year are, of course, The Shape of Water and The Book Thief. So please check my book reviews about this too. I will put the link below. So 14th question is, most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received? Well, actually I have 3 beautiful books that I bought so far, and of course these are the books by the one and only Leigh Bardugo. I have the Six of Crows duology and the Ninth House, and they are gorgeous. I mean, the covers by Leigh Bardugo's books are really beautiful. I have a summer book haul for this too, Six of Crows duology, so please check it out. I will put the link below. And also I have a book haul for this one, The Ninth House, where I showed them naked, so please check those book hauls that I did. You will see how beautiful these books are. So yeah. So the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Actually, I feel like I need to read one of John Green's books because I used to love the writings of John Green, but you know, I have read Looking for Alaska, The Fault in Our Stars, and The Abundance of Catherines. I didn't like The Abundance of Catherines, by the way, but I fell in love with this too, with the Looking for Alaska and The Fault in Our Stars, and I wanna go back in that kind of feeling of YA contemporaries. Like, yeah, I need to buy the Turtles All the Way Down. I really need that book. I really want to buy that book. And just that, I think that's pretty much it for this mid-year book freak out tag. I just told you the books that I have read this year, and I am going to read more for the second half of this year, and I'm really excited. So wait for my book reviews, reading vlogs that I'm gonna post on this channel. Of course, we're gonna post different content, not only books, but yeah, wait for it. Yeah, like I said, wait for different content that we're going to post on this channel. It's gonna be fun, and I hope to be more active, and I will always find a time to post here. So click the notification bell for you to be updated on our newest vlogs, and of course, please don't forget to like and subscribe this channel, and I'll see you on our next vlog. So peace out.